Hey, Plainview. This is Flo, and welcome back to Go Knuckle Talk with Flo. This is a special edition. This is not like our typical show, but I'm going to let Lisa explain it. So, my co-host, Lisa Nolan Hafner, you want to explain to the audience why we have these two fine gentlemen here?
Yes. So, welcome to our show, everyone. And thank you, Robert and Steve, for joining us. Robert Bradic, Steve George. So, this show tonight is a special edition, it's a brainstorming show. We're going to talk about the rivalry between Plainview High School and Hereford High School, and hopefully get some of the Hereford players from the 82 to or 81 to 83 years to, or 84, even up to 84, to come on the show with some of these guys and talk about that rivalry during that time. And hopefully, this brainstorming session that's live tonight will be the impetus to motivate these guys to come on the show with you guys. So, welcome and thank you. Nice to see you guys again.
Good to see you.
Good to see you guys.
Hello, Steve, and this is Robert's second time on our show, so he's experienced at this. So, hello, man.
He's experienced. This is my first time.
Yeah.
Yes. So we'll be easy on you. So anyway, guys, so just I got to give props to one of my coworkers. I've been talking to him about the podcast show that Lisa and I had, and he goes, it was his idea that he mentioned about trying to get some opposition players to get on the show and listen to the what they thought about playing Plainview and vice versa. So I called Robert one day and said, "Hey, man, let's get some of these Hereford players on here." And then Robert mentioned to get a hold of Steve, and because originally, Steve, you're from there. You moved your sophomore year, correct? No, your junior year.
8th grade.
To Plainview. Oh, 8th grade.
Eighth grade.
Yeah, 8th grade.
8th grade.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
My apologies. Wow.
That's all right.
His
Okay.
dad was the principal, Michael, as they went to 78 and went through all that. Mr. George was the school captain at that point.
Yeah.
Well, nice. So anyway, so Robert, Steve was asking you a question earlier. Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah. What players from Hereford are you thinking about? I mean, I have a few in mind, but go ahead.
I'm thinking of Robert Martinez and Alfred Ball.
Definitely Alfred Ball.
Do you know anything about Martinez and where he may be?
No clue.
I thought about maybe Brent Richburg, who's a year older.
Aubrey. Is it Aubrey, right?
That's
Richburg. I'm sorry, not Brent. Yeah. Brent's in Plainview.
Brent's ours.
Yeah. Aubrey Richburg.
Yeah.
Well, I know who Aubrey is,
Richburg.
trust me when I tell you. I told the story on the last podcast in the second half on the kickoff, and I got decapitated. I didn't see him. They did the crisscrossing with their lineman. I was running down, and he hit me right in the ear hole. So I know who he is, bro.
Was that in Hereford? That was that game in Hereford?
No, that was in Lubbock, Texas. We were ranked number 2 in the country in Texas Tech, and he was their guard, and I was a reserve linebacker, and I'm running down on the second half kickoff and got depleted.
Wow. And it was Aubrey?
It was Aubrey.
Yeah.
Did he say anything to you after he hit you?
He didn't need to. If he did, I wasn't coherent enough to hear it. He didn't need to say anything.
Yeah.
Mission accomplished, maybe. He might have said that when he ran off.
Well, he's in Lubbock. I know he's still in Lubbock.
That would be
that might be somebody. Don DeLozier might be somebody. Don was a tight end also. Tim, I believe his name is Tim Martin. Is that right? He was somebody that was with them. Some of these people like Wayne High and them. Wayne High might have been a better back than Alfred, actually. Alfred was really talented. I don't know what happened. I don't know what he did, but he was really talented. But Wayne High was very, very talented.
Yeah. I think about the Fight brothers, Alan Fight. I think about Charles McDowell. I think about Kerry Beard. Kerry Beard played tight end. Charles was their quarterback. I guess that would have been my junior year, your senior year,
right?
Robert? Yeah.
Right.
Now, Is it Alfred? Alfred Ball, correct?
Yep.
Alfred Ball.
Was he was he class of 83 too or 80?
Yep.
83.
82?
Yeah.
83?
83.
Okay.
We
'Cause,
grew up together. I met him in the 7th grade, and we were friends all the way through. I would try to call him every now and then or whatever. We didn't do like I was also friends with a guy named Tony Tillman. We ended up being teammates. We went to school together. We chose to go to school together.
Yeah.
He I would go visit. Alfred, I never did go visit, but we call every now and then. And when we got to a place where we were playing them competitively, really see who gets out of district and that kind of thing,
Yeah.
we remained friends, but we didn't try to keep in contact, especially after the senior season and we lost to him. I didn't have a thing to say to Alfred at that point when I shouldn't have been there.
Yeah, I knew Alfred from the 1st grade, so we have a lot of history together.
Wow.
I know there was like 4 or 5 players from 82 that was held back. Was he one of them?
No.
Alfred? No.
It wasn't? Okay. Because I know the 82 class had like 4 or 5 19-year-olds playing.
So Alan Wardis was one of them.
Alan Morgan.
Yeah. Who else would there have been?
Waters was a quarterback, right?
Correct. He was.
Mm-hmm.
So Steve, I have a question for you. So when we played Hereford, was it weird for you that you were playing against kids that you had grown up with?
All my friends. Sure it was. I think that I knew the talent over there. I thought the world of Coach Compton. Obviously, I loved Greg Sherwood and my coach, but I grew up knowing Coach Compton over there at Hereford. But it was definitely weird playing everybody that I grew up with. And it's funny, Charles McDowell, I remember one of the very first plays when we were playing in Plainview. It was a play that I messed up and went the wrong way. So I wound up running around the end, and Charles was playing corner. And I tried to get away from Charles, did get away from Charles, and he was one of my best friends. And we didn't say anything to each other, which I thought was the weirdest thing. I thought we'd have a laugh or anything like that, but it was completely competitive. It was rivalries then, and I knew it was from then on.
Yeah. So what do you think
That's
made
interesting, Steve, that you said that point that you just made is interesting. That's what I'm trying to reflect. And when I mentioned Alfred, we were really pretty tight all the way through until we both started competing for district championship in District 4-5A. Then that friendship took a back seat.
Yeah.
You know, the thing I remember is when they played us in Plainview, at the end of the game, they had to go 70 yards they ran Wayne High went 70 yards on 3rd and long, and that touchdown made the difference in the game. We couldn't come back.
Yep.
And after the game, he went to shake my hand and hug me like friends do. And I don't know what my face looked like or whatever, but I know that it didn't feel the same. I just kind of gave him abbreviated greeting and kept going, right? And I'll never forget the look on his face when I did that. And then when we went to Hereford the next year, he wasn't trying to be that way. He wasn't trying to like friends. He was like, okay, it's like that now. You could see it. Okay, every play he was wanting to try to break the long run or something like that. And we had a defense that really wasn't going to allow that. They beat us on a very long pass on 4th and long, right?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah.
But the point that you just made about friendship, that's exactly what I'm trying to convey. But I guess I was the antagonist. You know, he's wanting to hug me up. We had been friends since the 7th grade, and I'm the guy kind of pouting about it a little bit, not really wanting to engage that.
Yeah.
And it changed his behavior.
I definitely want an 80 guy from 82, because isn't that the year when they painted a big H on the Bulldog field?
Yeah, right in the 50-yard line.
Yes.
It's debatable. Either they did or Coach Sherwood did.
Well, that's
Coach
why we need
Sherwood may have
somebody.
done it.
Yeah. But my point is, we need somebody from Hereford to confirm.
Right, right. So here's an interesting question. What do you think made Hereford such a big rival of ours, even though we had other rivals like Monterey and, you know, what was it about Hereford that was such an intense rivalry?
I'm saying that big ass cow they used to bring, the big old heifer, they used to bring from that steakhouse over in the
I'll
plain.
be honest about it. From my perspective, I never worried at all that Monterey was going to beat us. We absolutely, no matter how good we were ranked in the top 10 in Texas, and knew if we didn't play right, we could lose to Hereford. You
So
know,
it was equally talented on both teams.
Yeah,
Both teams were equally talented.
I think, Michael, that's what it is with me. I knew it was two very well coached teams, and there was a ton of talent on both sides of the ball on each team. There was tons of talent. I think that made it a rivalry. Hereford started winning, and Plainview started winning with Sherwood, and Compton did as well. They went pretty far in the playoffs. I remember watching Hereford and play at Texas Tech, pretty deep into the playoffs. So
Lake Highlands.
Yeah, Lake Highlands. You're right, Robert. And honestly, we were two teams that had great talent, great rivalry. That's what made it. I mean, two well coached teams.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we'd love, yeah, if we can work on that. I'm guessing we're gonna have like three Hartford players and three from Plainview, and then you'll be the middle guy because you lived in Hartford and Plainview, Steve.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, we're trying not to get more than 7 because when you have too many, they'll be overstepping, over talking to each other.
Yeah.
It's hard to control the conversation. So let's start with 3 and 3, and have you in the middle.
Sounds good.
Lisa,
Yeah,
what are you
no,
gonna say?
I think that's a great idea. I mean, I hope that you have success in getting these players to agree to come on, because I think it would be a lot of fun to go back and reminisce, and a lot of water under the 40 plus years under the bridge, right?
Yeah, and I've come across a lot of these, not all of them, but some of the names that we've talked about tonight. I know where they're at, and we even hung out quite a bit in college. Some of them went to OU for a while, so um, I still stayed in contact with some of them.
Okay.
So Robert, the guys you mentioned from Hartford, have you seen or talked to any of them in the last, say, 20, 30 years?
No. The last person that I spoke to from Hereford, and I couldn't find him today, would be Wayne High. Wayne High was the last contact that I had. Now, I'm not talking about like I gave you the story about Aubrey Richburg or whatever. He wouldn't be hard to find. But the people our age, no.
Well, Aubrey and I
I would love to find Alfred Ball. I would love to find him. I'd love to find Robert Martinez. I would love to find tremendous athlete. Highly competitive people. Very competitive.
And I told Robert, I remember Robert Martinez. He was a big boy, but he was fast. I mean, that
really
dude can run 100. Yeah, and then for a big guy, he can move. And yeah, I remember him. Braxton used to compete a lot in the hundreds. So
in the 100, Braxton, Gray Carter, and Robert Martinez. Occasionally myself. I was a better 200 meter guy, 200-yard dash guy, 220.
Yeah. So you were mentioning Steve. You're I guess Facebook friends with Aubrey.
Yeah, I know he's in Lubbock. So yeah, I could touch base with him, see if he's interested.
Steve, did you go all 4 years did you go to OU all 4 years?
No, I was at Southwestern Oklahoma. I actually went and played. I went on a golf scholarship, Robert, if you remember back.
I remember you playing golf. Yeah.
And then wound up playing 1 year of football, shattered my hand, and decided I didn't want to play football anymore. So finished out my golf scholarship and then went to pharmacy school there at Southwestern. But a lot of those Hereford guys, they went to OU. So I was back and forth between OU Southwestern all the time. Still am. Still am.
Well, cool. Yeah, I'm a little excited about this. Steve, I'll send you the link to the YouTube so they can see all the shows, and then I'll send you a
Okay.
link to this one after we
Okay.
finish, and then let them know that before the show, Lisa and I, and now we may need your help because we don't know much about Hereford, but we like to come up with the questions prior to the show and send it to everyone so they can review it and start thinking about it. And
Okay.
but you know. We don't know much about. You said Compton. I even don't remember
That
him being a
that
coach.
that was the head coach, Coach Compton. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so you guys, whenever you make contact with these guys, if they're agreeable to come on, we need their not only their contact, their phone number, but we also need their email address, so that we can send out the questions and the Zoom link and all that stuff, and
Yeah.
bring them in the loop
Well,
of communication before.
I'll do a group text, and that way we can pick a week, and then we like to start on a Tuesday and see if everyone's available on a Tuesday. But we're flexible that certain week, and we're looking probably November, maybe December, because we've got a few
Okay.
shows booked already.
Okay.
Um,
Michael, how often do you do a show?
we were at the beginning, we're almost doing like every week, but I told her we need to probably do it every other week.
Okay.
And we're doing it every other week now. And I live out in the country and I have internet satellite, which is horrible. So we're having to use Zoom, but in the first quarter they're going to distribute the fiber optics to our houses. When that's done, we're going to use a different platform, which is going to be more live stream. So,
Okay.
but that's why we can do it every when it's recorded. But
Okay. Sounds
anyway,
good.
you got anything else, Robert? I mean, you
No,
got. I like to
actually,
get Tom. I was gonna say. I'm sorry. I like to get Tim Coleman. I want him because I've tried and tried and.
I don't know
Uh,
where Tim is. Robert, do you know where Tim is?
I do. I have his number. I'll call him.
yeah,
Okay.
I'll call him.
he's in Oklahoma,
Yep.
But
Been there for a long time. Oklahoma
and
City.
I like to get Tackle since he missed out in the last the
Dean
83.
Tackle.
Yeah, I like to get Take. What do you think, Robert?
I think Dean will do it.
I
Huh?
bet he will.
I think that there's a lot of potential to take these podcasts and these particular type series that we're talking about, stuff like this. There is a lot of upside to this. There's a lot of different things you can do with this. I think this is the start of something. By the time you get back with people like Royce and Britt Mayberry and people like that, and the people they contacted and the people they interacted with, this could go a long way. And maybe we can graduate into a different format at some point in the future where it can be in a conference call kind of format, and you have more than a couple, two or three, and really have I just see a tremendous opportunity here. I'm very proud to be a part of what you're doing. So I apologize for not really being prepared. I thought we were going to have a kind of a conversation thing. Michael did send the stuff over. I ain't paying attention. I'm talking to him on the phone. That was good enough for me, but I had a lot of stuff going on. I'll be more diligent in my end here and be prepared better.
Yeah.
A conversation is just a recorded conversation.
Yeah.
Well, but like I'm on the thing without a picture. I'm, walking around in a baseball cap and a t-shirt, playing with my dog. I wasn't ready. I'm thinking
Robert, you still look great, Robert. Still look great.
Okay, thank you.
And then I told Robert yesterday that there's another show that's gonna it's Jay Miller's. He's reached out to Vic Vines, the quarterback of Premium. So we're that's in the works, having the
That's awesome.
Bulldogs and the Premium. Talk about the game back in 79, right? No, 78.
78.
So yeah.
You know what, Mike? I'm going to tell Steve, if you give us the green light. Steve, remember the quarterback at Central High School, San Angelo Central? See, he's right up here, bro. He was the starting quarterback at Arkansas. Yeah, yep. Greg Thomas.
Yes.
Right? Yep. I'm going to shoot him an email the first time Michael say go, and that'll be a podcast.
Yeah.
You know, we got
Yeah.
Billy Kilman and Thomas. You know, Greg Thomas. We used to call you Billy Kilman. I don't know if you remember that.
I do
Right.
remember.
You look nothing like it, but you know, you was that kind of general, kind of swagger about you. You know.
Yeah, I
But
remember that.
I mean,
this
Rob,
could be fun and
yeah,
hurry.
I mean, you just go for it, Rob. I mean, it's going to be probably like January, but yeah, I mean, it's this is going to take some time to reach, like you said, to try to find some of these players. So, man, let's just you can get going anytime, and if you need my help, let me know.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, it's your show. I'm asking you for permission.
Go for
rather
it, brother.
than trying to
You
get
got
whatever,
you got
you
my
know.
permission.
Run with it.
You got my permission, man.
Yes.
You got
It'd be a
Go.
lot of fun. I think it could be a lot of fun. And I think these upperclassmen and lowerclassmen, I think the same thing is possible with those guys. This could go a
Yeah.
long way, you know.
Oh yeah, for
I
sure.
thought Steve said he was at Oklahoma. And the reason that I mentioned Oklahoma to Steve is, and I'm sure he knows a bunch of people there, but there's a guy that was a backer there named Dante Jones. He's
Yeah,
a
I
good
remember
friend of mine.
Dante Jones. I
Yeah,
remember
brother.
Dante Jones.
Uh-huh. Yeah. This could go a long ways, man.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's all I'm
You know
saying,
what?
right?
I just thought of something. Let's we can get Tomlin on here, and then can you find a coach, Steve, from that those years?
I probably could get Tate Casey or maybe even Coach Barr.
That
What
would be
about John Hill? What about Coach Hill? Somebody?
I don't know where John Hill is. I lost contact with him. But I still in contact with Coach Barr and Coach Casey.
Oh, John, yeah, definitely Mr. Coach Hill, but I didn't think he was. He started in '78.
No, he didn't.
Yeah,
He
so it's
didn't.
trying to get
I
some
thought
guys.
you were just generically talking about coaches.
Yeah,
You're talking
yeah.
about the 78 year. Okay, I'm sorry.
Well, either year, either one.
I don't know.
So,
I don't know if I don't know who was there in '78. I don't know that.
well, you know what, Coach, that's fine. Well, we could use John Hill, Coach Hill, or anyone from the mid '80s, or like 81 to 83, 84,
Okay.
and the ones you mentioned. Go ahead, that'll be fine.
Coach Harold,
That
who went on to coach at Ennis, and you all know about his son that played at Texas Tech. So Coach Harold was my quarterback's coach.
Mm-hmm.
I
He
love
was a
Coach
running back
Carroll.
coach. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
I loved
Yeah.
that man. Yes. I really, really enjoyed him.
Yeah.
yeah, so that'd be cool. We get one coach from Plainview and one coach at Hereford, and
Yeah.
up to three players. I know maybe tough. If we get two, that's fine. I mean, we'll have fun with it. We'll
One
have fun.
thing about the coaches in '78, when you get to Coach Tomlin, some of the other coaches that were on that staff may not be with us anymore. You're thinking about Coach Noe. I don't know if he's around. I know Coach Tone is not. Coach Bill's still here.
Coach Bill's still here.
That's the one right there. Then you have Wendy Williams. He was there on that team as a coach, but most of the rest of them may not be.
Right.
So
Yeah.
That's why, yeah, that again, if we can get even 80, that's fine. Get 82, 83 coaches, or we just need one. So whomever we can get, that'll work.
Coach
I
Morris.
mean, Lisa, you're in contact with Coach Hill, aren't you?
Yes, I can reach out to him.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay. So this would be fun, gentlemen. It would be a lot of fun.
Sounds fun.
I appreciate
Yeah, and
it, Robert. I think this can definitely grow legs, and I think it's fun to pursue this unique part of our podcast with these rival teams. I mean, just brings a different a more interesting aspect to it,
Right. Right.
So,
And then you have people that are not related to the football program that maybe were in basketball or golf, or maybe they were in the Thespian Society or whatever, that are Plainview natives. I guarantee you, these people have come across circumstances that would be very intriguing for a podcast.
yes.
Maybe famous people or whatever. You never know, right?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it's a great idea. You guys are on to something that you might want to really take the time to investigate to see how far it can go.
Oh yeah. Well, go ahead, Steve.
Robert, where are you living?
Bentonville, Arkansas.
Okay.
I've been here the last 25 years.
Okay. I'm in Houston. Been here 22 years.
So It ain't hard for me to get to Houston, brother. I'm gonna have to come and see you.
You're gonna have to. You're gonna have
Well,
to.
I live in the Houston area. I no love towards
You
me,
told me
Robert.
that.
Michael
I thought
does
about
too.
this already, Michael. You keep with these calls. I'm gonna come out there just to see what you're doing, bro.
We can get Roy Thompson.
We'll go get Roy.
Roy Thompson.
Gil Wright. I have Gil Wright's number.
The last
what's the
time I
football
saw
player?
Roy Thompson's face was in 1984. We played Roy and them in Houston. We were ranked number 1, and they put up a pretty good fight for the first half. It was so hot. I remember we had guys that had to have IVs. We were losing 16 pounds in the pregame warm-up. 8 pounds. It was crazy. And we walked off the field together, and my legs were shaking as we walked off the field. That's when I learned something about Houston. The humidity in Houston was insane. But I hadn't seen Roy since then.
Yeah, Roy's doing good. He lives right down the road from me.
Wow.
Very cool. Well, as soon as
I saw him on LinkedIn, and he had an anniversary, and I wished him happy anniversary, birthday, I believe it was. And that was on LinkedIn. That's just kind of a text message back and forth.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that. Mm-hmm.
I was going to say it might be kind of sketchy trying to get Tim Coleman on here, because I think he drives a truck.
Okay.
I'll ask him and see. You never know. I'll ask
Zoom.
him.
Zoom's available nation and international. He can get on.
Well, that's why he missed last time. I talked to him on the phone at length, and he's like, I can't do it. I've got to get it. It's an emergency shipment or whatever, and he had to.
Well, Robert, I'll leave it up to you to find a couple more players. But I'd love to include Dean. I can shoot him a text, and let's get this group text that I started. Let's use that, and then Steve, once you get a commitment, like Lisa mentioned, get us their cell number and their email address.
Cell phone, and email. Yep.
Yeah.
Got it.
Hey, Robert, do you want Tim's contact information, or do you have it?
I have it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, cool, gentlemen.
Thank you so much. I'm excited about doing this.
Me too. Thanks, Lisa. Thanks, Michael.
Robert, we'll see you again, man.
I'll see you. Thank you, guys.
Robert, good seeing you.
Brother, send me your information. All right?
We'll do.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Have a good night.
Good night. That's gonna be a good show. That's gonna be really, and then include them. Hopefully, we can get a couple, one coach from one and coach from the other. That would, oh my God, it's gonna be good.
That's a great idea, Michael. I didn't even think about that, but that's an awesome idea. And I think John Hill would do it. I think Dennis Tomlin would do it. We'll see, but definitely, I hope one of the Hereford coaches agrees to do this. It'll be fun. It'll be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. And
I agree, Steve is going to have to kind of be the bridge, the liaison between the two guys. And, we may need to just schedule a call with him to help us come up with the questions for.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe we'll do another Zoom or conference call, one of the two. And because, I just give me more questions about the rivalry, but I want to know more about their coaches. You know what I mean? So.
And their experience and all that, and their feelings and emotions, not just playing us. And a lot of the questions that we ask our fellow classmates from all the different classes that we've interviewed, I want to ask them, even though we won't know their stuff, but along the same vein. I would like to ask him about that damn cow. Is it still there? Oh, that heifer. I'm sorry, the heifer. And maybe we'll get to the bottom of the H painted on the field.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Because I remember during basketball season that same year, some of the players at halftime brought a sign and congratulated Hereford because I think they won the district that year. So I know that rather than be assholes about it, Coach Sherwood, nope, we're going to give them congrats, and that's how Plainview is. So,
well, from my recollection from being a cheerleader, I obviously remember the rivalry, but I also remember it being a rivalry of respect.
Yeah.
Like it's a talented team recognizing another talented team.
Absolutely. Yes.
So you play harder because you want to be better, and I think when you play a team like that, it's a self-challenge to be a better athlete in those situations. And so, those rivalries are actually really healthy. They make you a better team.
Yes, it does. It
Team
does.
that sucked and was not a challenge, people wouldn't go out there and give it their best,
Right.
So, I mean, those powerful rivalries were really important
Can
to
you say that fast 6 times?
I know that
Rivalry.
I was trying to articulate. Anyway, okay.
Well, cool. So and then that's it. So guys, stay tuned. We're working on a good show, and then as I mentioned earlier, we're going to have another one, Permian and Plainview from the playoff game. So Jay Miller's going to help have Vic Vines and help him to get a couple of players as well. So we're
Awesome.
pretty excited about that. So we're like I said, we're growing legs like a centipede.
Yes. So before we close the special edition tonight, I want to do another shout out to everybody that's from Plainview and any class or whatever. This show is not just about sports. It's a human interest podcast about our hometown and its people. And so if you have a story you want to come on and share, or friends that you want to bring on, again, the invitation is out there. Don't wait for us to reach out to you. Please reach out to us and come on and just have a conversation with us. This is just hanging out. It's super casual. If you've watched enough of our shows, it's nothing fancy. But I know there are a lot of human interest stories and interesting stories and powerful and moving and heartwarming and funny and exciting stories that occurred in our little bitty neck of the woods in West Texas. And we'd love to present those on this program. So please, 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 for an hour or two of your time, set aside any trepidation or shyness and just come and sit with us. Have a shot of tequila if you need to calm your nerves.
A little liquid courage, and then guys, we're gonna email you guys our questions, and of course, I mean that hopefully that would jog some of your memory, because these questions are just conversation starters, and we're hoping to hear more, get more organic stories from you guys, like we recently got from class of '82. I think we got we'll listen to a lot of more organic stories from them, so that's what we want. And I tell them during the pre-shows, like, we want to hear I remember, or gee, you remember. So, but anyway, like Lisa says, don't be shy, reach out to us. And if when I reach out to you guys, don't ghost me. It hurts my feelings.
If
Just
you're not, and we reach out to you, just say not interested. We're totally cool
yes,
with that. No hard feelings here. But
absolutely.
at least respond. We're just trying to bring lighthearted and interesting conversations and stories to the forefront, and that's it. That's it.
Yep,
And like Michael
that's
said,
it.
we prep you ahead of time. We send you the questions that are going to be conversation starters, so you have a general idea of what we're going to be asking you, and you have the opportunity to say, "Hey, I don't want to broach this subject," or "Don't ask me this question." We respect and honor that.
Yes.
Up the show.
And yes, we've been having like themes for the shows, classes. It doesn't have to be that. You can, if you were friends with a couple classes below you, three above you, it doesn't matter. Just bring your friends on, and let's have some fun. Yes, and alcohol is allowed. Have a few drinks, and it's, let's get back to when we're in high school and hear those fun stories. So anyway,
All right.
yes. Well, thank you guys, and as next week we're going to have the Rifle Corps.
That's exciting.
That's going to be a lot of exciting, because I have a lot of questions for them. So about that wooden rifle, because I'm pretty sure they didn't catch it the right way. It broke a few fingernails, maybe dislocated some. You never
Somebody on
know.
the head.
Yeah. So, all right. Good night, guys, and we'll talk to you again next week. Peace and love. Peace and love.